Hello everybody, it's Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books, and here we are in Vlogtober. So I've already given you some recommendations for some Victorian work to be going along with. So now I thought we'd look at some alternatives. So not everybody wants to read Victorian fiction, and so I thought I'd give you a little flavour of Victorian but with more of a modern day twist for those of you that want something a bit different. So I've chosen my favourite classic. For most of you that have been with me a while will know that it's Jane Eyre. This is my lovely edition with the deckled edges, and this was actually published in 1847, in October 1847, and by January 48 they were already on the second edition. That's how popular it was. So it's one of my favourite classics, and so I thought I'd do a retelling, look to see what retellings of Jane Eyre were around, and here's the few that I've got to show you today. So the first one is Jane Steele, and this is by Lyndsay Faye. Now this is a murder mystery, and I've not read any of these yet. So it says a witty, macabre reimagining of Jane Eyre. Like the heroine of the novel she adores, orphan Jane Steele suffers at the hands of her aunt and schoolmaster, and like Jane Eyre they called her wicked. But in this case she fears the accusation is true. When she flees, she leaves behind the corpses of her tormentors. Oh yes, so that sounds really good. We've got a Jedi? I don't know where that came from. A baddie Jane Eyre. A baddie. A Jedi. Oh dear. May the force be with you on this Sunday that's dreary in Scarborough. Yeah, so that's Jane Steele. Looking forward to that one. If it's bumping off a few there. So next we've got just another Jihadi Jane. There we go. It's hard to see because it's a light colour. This is by Tabish, Khair. And this very much goes along the flavour in a way of, what did I read? Home Fire, where it was a lovely piece of work looking at how some of these youngsters, young adults of the Muslim faith are brainwashed, shall we say, into radicalism, and I think this is a similar vein. So I'm looking forward to see what this is about and see if it's as well written as Home Fire. It says, at first glance, Jamila and Amina couldn't be more different. Both are Yorkshire-born teenage girls of South Asian descent, but whereas Jamila lives with her conservative Muslim family and is quiet, religious and academically bright, the more worldly Amina masks her insecurity behind a brassy, bawdy persona and lives with her divorced mum. They strike up an unlikely, fateful friendship. The girls slowly realise that their new reality is a narrow, brutal universe apart from the one they had imagined. So that is a different take, quite a contemporary modern take on Jane Eyre. The next one, The Rise and Fall of Jane, and this is by Garrett. This is quite a chunky one, and this is a contemporary romance, and Jane Augusto wants to leave her lonely, dysfunctional past behind when she gets a job as a nanny at Miles Hayes' mansion. But although Jane wouldn't know a healthy family from a slap in the face, she knows this isn't it. It only takes a few encounters for her to feel drawn to Miles. Ooh. So, looking forward to that one. Next, this has had quite a lot of of hype on BookTube. Many people have read this already. My Plain Jane. And this is by three, I nearly said artists then, 3 authors, Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton and Jodi Meadows. Now it's a gothic romance, and there's 4 main characters in here: Jayne, Charlotte, Alexander, and ourselves as the reader. So from what I can gather, we are part of the narrative as we're reading this, and I would imagine that the 3 contributors to this, 3 authors, write a different character. So I'll be interested to see how this works, whether it all flows together nicely. Lovely copy. I love deckled edges again. Lovely deckled edges. They aren't easy to turn over. Sometimes that's the thing with it. They aren't quite easy to turn the pages, but they don't half look lovely on your bookshelf. And then finally, we've got Eyre by Kate Forrester. And this is a contemporary romance, but it has some LGBTQ representation in here. So this would be interesting to see. I think we've got a male nanny. We can't call him a nanny, can we? What? He's sort of the male equivalent of a nanny. So he's like a teacher, I suppose. And he's called James Eyre, and he's just finished his university degree and takes up a private tutoring position. That's how they say it here. So not the male equivalent, not male nanny, but the private tutoring position in the North Carolina mountains, called Thornfield Estate. Oh, and I think he fancies Mr. Rochester. And does Mr. Rochester fancy him? I'm sure we will find out as I read along with this book. So I'm interested in this because this is a completely different take, and yeah, makes a nice change to have a retelling of a classic with some LGBTQ representation. So yeah, looking forward to that one as well. So there we go, that's something a bit different. So if you wanted to join in with Victober, but you want to do Victober with a bit of a twist, then check out some of my Jane Eyre retellings and let me know what you think. Bye for now.